Oh, hell yeah. Samantha_42 just subscribed. 36 months? Wow, that is almost a whole 3 years.
Well, hello. I was about to get my paint water, but I guess stream is starting. Hi, everyone, and what is up, gamers? Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you, thank you. And hello, everybody. As you can see, I'm not quite ready, but thank you so much for the hype train. What the heck? What the heck? Thank you, Casa, for this celebration as well. Samantha, thank you so much for subbing for 36 months. That's incredibly lovely of you. Thank you, thank you. And hi. Also, thank you so much, Anonymous, for gifting Casa a sub before I have even started the stream. Can you believe to learn? Thank you so. Y'all are so lovely. Y'all are so lovely, and I'm so grateful. And thank you so much. And let me say hi to everybody. Hello, Silly. How are you doing? It is wonderful to see you. Welcome on in. Hello, hello, hello. And hello indeed to Indigo and Casa. Please enjoy your emotes and stuff. Thank you again to our anonymous friend for the gift sub. That's incredibly kind. Thank you, thank you. Hello indeed, friends. And of course, hello, Samantha also. Friends, hi. Welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. I have already dropped my pencil. No! Where did it go? Oh no, and it's so tiny. It's hard to find. Got it. But barely. Our little stump is still going. But barely. Anyways, hi. I have new paints, everybody. I have new paints because I made new paints. I mean, I say I have new paints. I have the same paints. Just in new cuppies because I mixed some fresh paints the other day, and I'm very, very, very excited to use these paint colors because as soon as I finished mixing them, I realized this is the most autumnal blend of painty-doos a person could dream of. This palette is so good, y'all. Like, does this not scream a warm, cozy autumn situation to you? It's so cozy. It's so cozy. Hello, Sen. Welcome in. How are you doing? It is lovely to see you. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. It's so good to see you. Hello, hello. Tiny spoop, says Joe. And yeah, this is, I was gonna start painting this last time, and I'm glad I didn't, because I have different paints for it now instead. But we did finish the sketch of it, and it looks like this. So our little ghosty buddy is working the bar at a little cozy autumnal coffee shop here that also sells books, I might add, because what is cozier than a book and a delicious handmade espresso based or tea based or chocolate based or whatever else you would like warm beverage. I'm sure they could do you a hot Ribena if that's your bag. Also, a hot ginger cordial is just the ticket with a little bit of lemon juice when it's super cold. That's so cozy. It's so cozy. Anyways. Also super good when your throat hurts. Anyways. Sense is relaxing after a shower and some sewing earlier today. Nice. It's still very warm here. It is very warm in my studio at the moment. I've got the window way open and there's some breeze coming in, but I'm still like, why is it so humid in here? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. Oh no, storms. Oh no, storms. Storm knocked out the internet yesterday, but thankfully it was fixed quickly. Well, I'm very, very happy to have you back. Welcome back. I'm so sorry that it went out, but I'm very glad that it has been so quickly restored. But it is, as always, a wonderful to see you. Hello, hello, hello. A glass of hot, warm water. Some people, yeah, I mean, a lot of people do like just drinking hot water. You know, there are certainly arguments from some quarters that hot water is very, like, is good for you. Or my grandmother will not drink like cold water. It has to be either like room temperature or warm, or she's not drinking it. Anyways, hello, Mr. Hangman. Welcome in as well. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's lovely to see you and welcome on in. And thank you everyone for the hype train. What a lovely way to kick off the stream. Y'all are very, very sweet and wonderful. I really do appreciate the support with my whole heart. It is very, I can't word how special that is to me and how grateful I am, because words are hard, but I really appreciate it. I want to tell you about these paints because I had a lot of fun working on them. You may remember this little rainbow that we have been playing with recently are cadmium red medium, chromium orange hue, cadmium yellow light, helio green, cobalt blue deep, manganese violet, mahogany brown, and Mars black, which we mixed previously with Potter's pink and then cobalt turquoise. But I had a thinky thought because I felt like the Potter's pink palette was quite subtle, and I wanted to do something that was kind of warmish but a little bit more a little bit more impactful, and B, a little bit more sort of in towards like brownishness and autumnally vibes. And so I bought myself a tube of a paint called Lunar Red Rock from Daniel Smith Paints. And I blended that with each of these colors, and I ended up with this red and this orange and this yellow, which these ones are so good. And then the green. I finally have a green that looks different to this insanely oversaturated green. Finally a green that I can work with. Cobalt blue, says Samantha. Yes, it is the color of cobalt. Cobalt blue deep even, so it is the color of a deep cobalt. I don't know. Anyways, given Mars is famously the red planet, is it actually the black of a Mars bar? Maybe it is. Maybe it is a dark chocolate, or is it? Oh, the packaging is black, I suppose. Yeah, it's like Mars bar. It's like the wrapper of a Mars bar. There we go. Welcome back, Mr. Hangman. I had to close my window because the kid was screaming. Oh, geez, I hate when that happens. I mean, I do think that, it's good for a child's enrichment to have, like, be outside and scream time. But on the other hand, as an adult, I'm like, okay, but do you have to do that when I want to have my windows open? Because I'm tired. Anyways. Ooh, Mr. Hangman says, I recently discovered a subsection of YouTube that's kind of neat. Ooh, I definitely do not need any more, like, niche subsections of YouTube to fall down, but also consider me intrigued, and if you want to share, feel free to let us know what kind of content you're enjoying at the moment. I just don't like, aw, that's not very nice. They're trying their best. Anyways, okay, so here's how the blue turned out, and how much do I love that? Because, I mean, if you just look at this color in isolation, it's like, that is not blue, but it is in the context of this rainbow, and that's fun. And then our purple has become this very sort of, like, I don't know, like burgundy magenta situation. The brown is just the brown, but a little bit warmer, and the black is a nice sort of dark brown. It's just this palette hits so good for the... Adrian, you can go get directly in the bin. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 pounds. Collect nothing. Collect, get banned. One moment, everybody. Okay. Alright. Sorry about that. They are really coming in thick and fast these days. The buy cheap viewers. No, I don't want cheap viewers. Samantha says there seems to have been more bots than usual recently. They seem to be doing like I don't know. They're really pushing their like promotions of their cheap viewers. And I just want to be 100% clear to them that I'm not interested. But yeah, Mr. Hagman says it got recommended to me by YouTube, which is surprising because the recommendations are completely broken on that site as of late. They super are. I think what I feel really bad about with the recommendations is that every once in a while, like in and among my recommendations that are, largely channels I already follow or channels that I watch a lot of, but I'm not subscribed to. And I did just fill my paint water out of my drinking water bottle. It is just tap water. But I didn't want to go back to like the sink and get it. So I was just like, it can have some of my drinking water. That's fine. Anyways, subset of the animation split, paleo animation. Ooh, that sounds really fun. The one person I found is so good at the small movements of animals. Oh, animal locomotion is cool. That's awesome. I fully refuse to click on YouTube recommendations. I will not reward the algorithm with the dopamine for a job well done. Oh, I know that, like, strategies for getting past the algorithm and getting views on your content and stuff often involves people making very extreme statements and images in their thumbnails, and I understand that this is like a strategy for getting your work in front of an audience, but I also find it really, really frustrating because if I don't know this channel and they've made a controversial statement in their title or thumbnail of their video, I don't know if they agree with that statement or they are intending to refute it, as it were. So I don't want to reward channels expressing opinions that I genuinely think are abhorrent by clicking on it to find out whether or not they actually believe this thing, or they're doing this as like a, this is a statement and here's how I'm actually going to walk that back. Or like, what's it? Not contradict, counter argue it. Because then the algorithm's going to be like, oh, you want to see more videos about people who don't believe in, climate change or LGBTQ plus rights. Well, we'll show you more of that. No, I do not want that. So I feel like in some cases, content creators are shooting themselves in the foot by trying to cater to the extremities of what the algorithm wants from you. Because I will decidedly not click on a stranger saying something if I'm not sure whether or not they believe it, or they're asking a somewhat, a question in a way that just feels really bad, or like, you're doing interior design wrong. I'm like, well, no, I'm not actually. I'm doing exactly what I want. Go away. And then, it turns out the actual video is just like, here are some strategies for interior design, and the whole thing is just really nice, but they have to give it this, like, eye-catching title that's gonna draw people in and make them be like, well, wait a minute, and then they watch and they're like, oh, actually, this person has a point, and then they go on with their day. Anyways, rant is over. Mr. Hangman says, yeah, I definitely want to try animating extinct animals and other paleo art stuff as just animals instead of, like, monsters or something like most media. Ooh, hell yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Love to see it. That would be rad. Good job. Hell yeah. Is this an appropriate brush for doing, I want to do basically just sort of like dark brown color at backs of shelves first before we do anything else. I'm also trying to decide whether the ghost should just be pure white or be very slightly translucent, because they are a ghost and I feel like that would be fun. Don't question how the ghost is able to hold a, sort of the ghost can interact perfectly fine with whatever matter it wants, but it can also pass through walls if it feels like it, because ghost logic. I don't know. Anyways, Mr. Hangman says, I'm so tired of the this is wrong or some kind of title. Yeah, there's a lot of like, you've been making, you see things like, you've been making grilled cheese wrong your entire life. No, I've just been using a different method of making grilled cheese to the one you want to suggest. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just different. Ghosts are exactly as tangible as they wish to be. I love that for them, honestly. That's so nice. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, which is a decaf today, because as you can tell, I've already had regular coffee. And I don't really want to push it. Also, there's a new friend in my house. Here he is. This is Gulliver. He's a sweet little guy. I was ordering a book from an online book retailer and needed to wanted to just increase my order to get free shipping, and I was like, oh, I can do that by making a friend with a bird. So I have a friend now who is this lovely little seabird, and I'm so glad that I got them. I'm at least as excited about this new friend as I was about buying myself a book. Good friend. Anyways, so this is Gulliver, and they're going to be hanging out just off screen because I don't want to get paint on them. Anyways, Mr. Hangman says, I recently saw a video titled, You Don't Know How Many Seasons There Are. They blocked the video immediately because it's such a stupid premise. Oh, God, yeah. No, genuinely, I agree. I think that, that kind of... I'm gonna trick you into watching this actually probably, like, potentially kind of interesting video by inciting, like, you getting angry with me for saying something mean to you is just okay. You know what? There's a channel that I actually watch a reasonable amount of because they do some interesting deep dives into, like, consumer stuff, which can be quite interesting. Like, hey, you know, what is the deal with pod coffee, or, you know, is this supposedly sustainable trend actually as sustainable as it seems, or why is everyone buying these things now? And a lot of it is quite interesting, but like every thumbnail of their videos are like, it'll have like a picture of whatever item they're talking about within big letters, like, it's a lie, or this is a scam, and I'm like, but it's rarely ever the case that, you know, this is entire, like, you know, I don't know, pod coffee is a scam, or, you know, secondhand clothes shopping is a lie, or something like that. It's like, no, that's not true. You're just making very attention-grabbing claims to get people to watch your videos. But that's not, you know, maybe I'm just not the target audience for this kind of marketing, because it just gets my goat. It just gets my goat. I don't enjoy it at all. I just find it frustrating. Anyways. Oh yeah, this is the anchor color that's in all of these other colors. And I bought it because it in itself is so pretty. So pretty. I'm looking forward to finding all of the ways I can use this color because it is very, very pretty. And it also just blends so beautifully with these other colors. There's a lot of color separation happening, in particular with the cobalt blue, apologies. Because cobalt blue is a very heavily granulating pigment. So, that's fun. I think we could do some interesting stuff with these. I've got some ideas percolating in my head for a couple things that I want to do for, like, an autumn shop update. So we'll see how all that goes. Anyways. Yeah, it's so tiring, says Mr. Hangman. It really is. Samantha says, everyone knows the best topic for a YouTube video is, where did this obscure sound effect come from? I know exactly of whence you speak, and that is a very good video. Indigo says, hello, I'm Tommy Tallarico, and here's how I created the Roblox oof sound. I feel like I should link to that in the Discord or something, so people who don't know this video know what we're talking about. It is quite long, so if it's not your thing, feel free to not watch it. It goes in directions that you could not. It is some more dramatic video than you would be expecting from something that is about nominally about the origins of a very well known video game sound effect. Anyways, my mother is very proud. Thank you. My moderator / spouse is here. Hi, Sunshine. I think your 3D print is finished. Yep. Somebody was 3D printing today. It was neat, was goofy, and didn't bait me with some ridiculous things, says Mr. Hangman. That's the best kind of video there is. Just watched one that was, can a grizzly bear beat a competitive eater? And it was by this guy just racing a grizzly bear in a hot dog hunt. That sounds safe. Dare I ask what the outcome was? I don't know if I do. That is... What is that, sweetheart?
What does it look like?
It looks like a chicken's foot.
That's pretty much what it is.
Everyone, here is a Warhammer chicken's foot from my moderator / spouse's 3D printer.
Could you reach over and grab those lip pliers? Hidden sort of underneath.
This one? Okay. Sorry, everyone. I'm having to... Sorry for the arm cam. Really getting to know my freckles today. I bet the grizzly bear could beat a competitive eater in hand-to-paw combat, says Indigo. I bet they could too, yeah. The bear won because it could literally eat 4 at a time. Because it's a bear. Are we surprised? I mean, now, listen, I do understand the importance of the scientific method being applied to things even when you consider it to be a water is wet conclusion. Because sometimes when you actually, you might think that something is a given, and then you actually look at, you know, run a controlled experiment on it, and repeat those conclusions, and you find that, oh, actually, you get a different result than you were expecting. And you know, that's real interesting and neat and cool, I think, and an important thing to do. So sometimes I do see, like, you know, findings of a scientific study are published and people respond with like, oh, in other news, water is wet. And it's like, okay, I mean, yes, but on the other hand, it is really useful to actually have data to back up our water is wet stuff, you know? Because there is a lot of stuff that I think we genuinely just sort of take to tacitly be the case, that on actual, like, looking at the data surrounding it, it might not be, you know? This is one of mine. Sifting the flour for cakes. I don't think it gives you a lighter result. But I have not done a test on this to see whether or not sifting flour for cakes actually gives you a lighter sponge. I would love to. You know, one of these days, I'm going to make a cake. And I'm going to split it into 2 batches. And for one batch, I'm going to sift the flour. And for the other batch, I'm not going to sift the flour. And we're just going to see whether or not sifting actually makes any difference to the final result. Because my supposition is that it is not going to make a difference. And I have asserted this many times because I never sift my cakes and my cakes are perfectly fluffy. But you know, I should probably actually do like a test to confirm or refute my hypothesis here. Science! Anyways, Samantha says, competing in an eating contest against a grizzly bear is perfectly safe as long as you don't piss it off by winning. I guess it depends on whether it's a competitive sort of bear or the kind of bear for whom they're just happy to be there. Because, you know, I'm sure there are some bears who are just happy to be there. As long as everyone tries their best and has a good time, we're all winners here. Or maybe that's just me. Little Ms. Participant medal. But that being said, any time in my life when I was winning a participant medal, I wasn't happy to be there. And I didn't want to be doing those things, so I put in the bare minimum so that I could spend the rest of the day sitting in the shade and eating popsicles. Anyways. And that's why I'm not an Olympic run jumper. Also, I'm just bad at it. Anyways. Was that a thing in the UK, like track days at school, where you just had this one day out of the year where you all had to sort of compete at those types of sports, like sprinting and throwing a thing a distance and doing a jump? Was that a thing over here in the UK, or was that just something that we did back in Canada and possibly the States? Correct me if I'm wrong, Americans in the chat. Genuinely curious. It was a terrible time in general, because it was just the people who were generally more athletically inclined won a bunch of awards, and, you know, small round creatures with no stamina like me got a participant medal and did the bare minimum number of activities that were mandatory. And it was kind of awful, because I genuinely don't think that, I don't know, I just think there's a lot of stuff where, especially at like a young child's age, no one is like actively training to pole vault, you know what I mean? So the people who win the pole vault are just generally the people who win any of these events, for the most part, are just the taller people. Like, I was never gonna win a long jump against someone who just had like 8 inches more leg than me. So what was the point in torturing myself trying? You know, it's just, pass. No, not fun. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. Let me catch up with chat. Mr. Hangman says, I watched this one guy on YouTube named Anton Petrov, and his science videos. He mostly goes over scientific papers, but displays it in an easier to understand way. I love when people do that. Because I think that the stuff should be accessible, and it should be made available in accessible ways. Because it's interesting, and because learning is good, expanding your mindset is good, and a lot of academic papers are really horribly written and hard to understand. You know? Anyways, Samantha says the scientific name for the grizzly bear species is Ursus arctos horribilis, which, wow, whoever named them really didn't like them. And that's mean, because their name should be Ursus arctos adorabilis. Well, maybe that's just me. Sorry. Having a weird... That was somewhere between a hiccup and a yawn. I don't know. Anyways. Samantha says in most cases, putting in the bare minimum won't get you very far, but in a food eating contest, you can absolutely win by doing the bare minimum. I love this. Sports Day, says Casa. Okay, so Samantha says, yeah, we had Sports Day each year in the UK. I'm so sorry. Mr. Hangman says, one of the most fascinating bears is a polar bear. They have so many adaptations that if they had, say, another 100,000 years to evolve, I feel like they'd be nearly fully aquatic like seals. I would like to see it.
As we saw in this year's Olympics, an extra 8 inches is not necessarily a bonus.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. My moderator/spouse came in and said, as we saw in this year's Olympics, an extra 8 inches is not necessarily a bonus, especially when it comes to the pole vault. Exclamation mark bonk, but you're not wrong. Yes. Casa says, when you're younger, it tends to be everyone, and then by high school, it's just people good at sports representing each house. I see. Yeah, I think, thankfully, there was a certain point when I was in secondary school where you kind of were able to drop off having to do any of the athletic stuff, and I was just like, nope, I'm bouncing now. Because I'm just, at this point, I'm just torturing myself and being bullied by adults, so, yeah, nah. We did track days, says Mr. Hangman, it was boring. When you're little, it's like egg and spoon races. You know, if it was just egg and spoon races, that would be great. It was like, I think I genuinely injured myself trying to do the shot put one year, so that was fun. I was just trying to find what are the least athletic athletics I can get away with doing in these events. And, then there was the year I attempted to do, so I think I was not available when everyone was signing up for the different sports events, so the only things that were left included the longest distance run that was a competitive category, so I was like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll do that. But we weren't trained for how to do runs. So I started out, instead of trying to, like, you know, as a test of endurance, like not going as super fast as possible, as super quickly as possible, because you're gonna tap yourself out pretty quickly. I went as super fast as possible, as super quickly as possible, and about halfway through the race, I had to dip because I had to go throw up because I made myself go too fast too quickly and my lungs stopped working properly. So thank you, school. That was great. Anyways. Yeah. Samantha says, Ursus arctos, adorabilis should have been reserved for the polar bear. I mean, listen, all bears are adorable to me, okay? I love bears. They're great. Anyways, the least athletic sport I can think of, says Mr. Hangman, that actually requires strain, not anything like billiards or whatever, is archery. Oh man, I wish we had archer. I wish we got to do archery. You know, I still would have done a horrible job, but at least I would have felt cool doing it. Shooting doesn't count because you exert, like, almost no energy. You know what, if watercolor was still an Olympic sport, I could have been a contender. Not because my paintings are good, but just because I keep on trucking. Can I has a participant medal for watercolors? I don't know. I'm not even sure. I will get one of those for watercolor. I think I get one of those misshapen gold stars that just say like you tried in Comic Sans. Sigh. Anyways. But maybe I'm just being a silly sausage. Okie dokie. That is one bank of shelves with the first layer of backing, because I'm gonna have to redo it because it is too light. But I didn't want to go in too dark in the first instance and then have it turn out oh no. So we'll have to give that an additional glaze later on. Samantha says, I want a petition to replace the modern pentathlon with a version where the biathlon is target archery instead of shooting. I want to see you have to finish a watercolor painting. That's what I want to see. Competitive poetry. That's a thing that exists. What else? What other categories can we have? I'm not sure we should attempt to have breakdancing again this year. Because of this year. There was a lot. I don't know if anyone's, like, I didn't keep up with the Olympics, but, like, I knew about, like, the weird breakdancer from Australia. But then a whole bunch of stuff supposedly came out about how, oh, she cheated to get in, and then it turned out that actually, no, she didn't. She just decided to do something weird, and it wasn't, and they didn't think it was very good. But yeah. And they're like, weren't there any better dancers? And apparently a lot of people decided not to try it, like, to compete because they felt like it was too... The idea of doing breakdancing as an Olympic sport was too restrictive in terms of the art form. Anyways. But I don't really know anything about all of this, so take anything I have to say with a grain of salt. I just read, like, an article in Vox about it. Anyways. I hope everyone who's had just a lot of attention because of the most memeable parts of a big sporting event are doing okay. 'Cause these are just normal people who are good at a sport. Anyways, they don't even run with guns in the pentathlon. That's probably better for safety. So this is a lot harder to shoot a bow accidentally. Yeah, exactly. They're lasers. They're lasers. Oh man, that's cool. No, I want lasers. I want to do the laser category. How do I get into competitive lasers? That sounds great. No, I don't ever want to do anything competitively because I'm afraid of rejection and I am bad at everything and don't like feeling bad about myself even though I do most of the time anyways. Anywho. This ghosty is feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty positive about the fact that this is so gosh dang autumnal. I'm over summertime now. It can stop. It's fine. I'm pretty sure that my weather forecast for next week is looking pretty good. Oh yeah, programming note next week. There will not be streams on Thursday or Friday because I will be in Denmark for a couple of days. We are taking a little time away from our place of residence and going to a different place and staying in a reasonably budget-friendly hotel and eating, like, tofu hot dogs in the park and drinking coffee. Anyways, they're replacing the horse with an obstacle course. No, the horse course! Oh, Samantha, I wanted to ask you, and I'll ask on stream even though this isn't relevant to anybody else, but did you see that still from an upcoming movie with Andrew Garfield and some lady? Oh, what's her name? Florence Pugh. But the most important thing about the production still that has been released is the horse. You did. Okay, good. I don't have a photo of it to hand, I don't think, but it was really something. Actually, you know, I might be able to find it. Now I kind of want to find it. I'll wait from overseas to say hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's gonna bother me if I don't find it now. So I'm gonna see. I think I saved it to. I think I liked it on Twitter. So let me just see if I can bring up the picture. Please tell me I did. No, I didn't. Okay, never mind. I'll find it later on something else. What if I just Garfield horse? What if I just look up? There it is. Okay, yes. I just googled Andrew Garfield horse, and I did find it. So hooray! It's such a good picture, y'all. Anyways, no, that's the second one this stream. Get in the bin. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry you had to hear me say mean things, but Zed Jack Ito does not get to be here. Wherefore we're disembodied horse head. The best viewers are already here, says Samantha. It's true. You are all wonderful people, and I'm so glad that you're here. Hell yeah. Imagine if a bot came in and said second best viewers on. Oh my god. Love that for us. Anyways, okay, so let me pop over onto, this is my Instagram. I'm sorry you have to look at it for a second. It is the screen that comes up when we want to look at things on websites. But anyways, I will just highlight, in case you don't know what my finished artwork looks like, this is the Loch Ness Monster, and I painted it recently. So, this is a gift for someone, actually. I hope they like it. Anyways, y'all, this is okay. They're having a nice time, I think. And then... I don't know if I should have warned before showing this because it is, I love this horse. I want to befriend this horse. This good horse. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I was having a chuckle about, because that is, so I assume they're on some sort of carousel, says Samantha. Yes, it does look like it, because there is that vibe and stuff, but it's just the placement of the horse in frame as well is just so funny to me. Anyways, so this is Sammy's Instagram. I sure have one, for whatever it's worth. And Nessie, the bestest of all the cryptids. I love her so much. I want to meet her one day. I really do. It would be an honor. But I don't know if there's anyone I can convince to go with me, to spend several hours just kind of duding around on the shores of Loch Ness, just in case she decides to grace us with her appearance. Knowing me, I would sneeze and miss it, you know. Oh well. Or I'd be like, oh, there she is! And then it's like a bin bag. Anyways, Indigo says, my friend drew a horse on the whiteboard in the lab she works at, and it just stayed there, and now it's the lab horse. Oh, that's so nice! Samantha says, it would indeed be an honor for Nessie to get to meet famous internet personality Twitch user Sammy Kelch. It would be an honor for me, honestly. I did have a bit of a curious sighting yesterday morning. I do have photos, but I don't necessarily want to share them too widely online, because I feel like an intrepid person might be able to try and extrapolate, like, what neighborhood I live in based on, like, visible stuff in the photos. But I was on my morning perambulations, and at first I saw, okay, so there's like on the side of the street that I was on, there's a park, and I saw a cat run from like my side of the street across the street, and then went off somewhere. I didn't see where they went, and then came back a couple minutes later with a second. Okay, also this was a black cat. Came back a few minutes later with a second black cat in tow, and they darted very quickly back into the park, where a third black cat was waiting for them, and they all kind of just socialized around there for a few minutes. I did eventually have to go catch a bus, so I don't know how long they were there for, but just the vibes of that little like congregation of black cats just felt like I was witnessing some very important coven business, you know, like a when shall we three meet again kind of situation. It was, which is familiar's unionizing, says Samantha. It genuinely felt like something like that. There was definitely a vibe of like some kind of meeting of creatures going on, which was frankly lovely, but also my curiosity very much piqued. But I felt very blessed in getting to witness this little meeting for the brief period that I did. But then I immediately, as soon as I got on the bus, I accidentally bought the wrong bus ticket and overpaid for the day by £1.80. So perhaps I had been cursed. I don't know. But you know what? It was worth it. It was worth it for that very genuinely magic little moment. It was very, very, very cool. Anyways. But yeah. So that was the highlight of my day yesterday, which was really nice. And there we go. Okay. We have some things are happening in this painting. It might actually get did. Indigo says, we all know you live in Oxford, Shorehaven, Chesterton, Warwickdale. I mean, yes, but it is a fairly large Shire, Haven, Chesterton, Wickdale. I don't necessarily want to betray too hard what section of it I might be in. Just because, you know, I think a little bit of being sensible about, you know, sort of disclosing where you live and a little bit of privacy is important. Also, many, many years ago, I got in my Google Analytics for my Etsy shop a sequence of attempted searches on my Etsy shop or leading to my Etsy shop from Google of someone trying to find like my address and phone number and also a bunch of other like personal information about me. They clearly didn't get anywhere because they just kept landing on my Etsy shop, which is telling you nothing except for the fact that at the time I lived in Canada and I made, you know, sort of like crocheted goods and sold t-shirts. But it's always made me a little bit cautious to give away too much personal information online, which I think is just general good practice to not be like, hey, here's my, you know, unless you're like, I don't know, a reigning monarch or something, like the kind of public figure where you live in a very specific known house. It's okay to just keep that information to yourself. And it's probably for the best and the safest. Because sometimes people are weird. Anyways, oh, for Sunny. No. That's the third one today. Jeez Louises. Do I need to make cheap viewers a banned phrase in chat? I'm wondering if I maybe do. Anyways, the crows are going to be really mad they weren't invited to Smith. They're really going to kill the momentum of the labor movement. That maybe, you know what, maybe they will be. Though I don't see a ton of crows in our neighborhood lately. I do see jackdaws, but they hang out in kind of a different part of the neighborhood to where I usually go for my walk. Though I do see some of them from the bus sometimes, which is really fun. Because jackdaws are so stinking cute, y'all. I really want to paint some jackdaws at some point soon because they are the loveliest. Not even an hour into the stream and already 3 bots, right? Like, what the flip is going on here? That is Lord. Usually, I'm used to getting like 1 a stream. So we're literally 54 minutes into the stream and we've had 3? What is going on? That is too many. I'm so sorry you had to see that, chat. I would love for that to not happen. Anyways, how's everyone's week been? What y'all been up to? I hope you've been having good weeks. I certainly am doing okay. Yesterday's incident with the kitty cats was really nice. Apart from that, I've just been thinking, oh yeah, I wanted to, so I asked a question on one social media, but I thought I'd ask it here as well. How do we feel about bookmarks, y'all? I'm thinking about some possible stuff I could add to my next shop update, and I think bookmarks would be really, really cute. I do have one idea for a bookmark that I think would be quite cute. I can also apparently get bookmarks printed with like metallic accents, which would be very fun. They are, Sen, probably my favorite Corvids. They're so cute, aren't they? They are so stinking cute. I love the subtle patterning, I suppose, of their plumage. I think it's lovely. Also, oh yeah, the pirate ship in Assassin's Creed Black Flag is called the Jackdaw, which is very cute. Indigo says, found Sammy's address, 10 Downing Street, London, SW1A2AB. No. Weirdly enough, no. I am not the PM. Oh wow, Sammy is subletting from Larry. Oh my god, imagine. No. If only. But no, actually not if only, because I don't want anything to do with that mess. Not Larry, but for anyone who doesn't know, that is the official residence of the Prime Minister of the UK. I don't even live in London. I wouldn't want to live in London. It's too full on. I suppose there are probably, like, if you live in a quieter area and you don't have to go like into the center of town all the while, it's probably not so bad. But I find it quite full on. I love the public transit system, but it also can be quite overwhelming and sweaty, especially at like the heaviest commuter times, you know, sort of around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Can be a little bit scary for me. So yeah, not my favorite, even though, as I say, I do really enjoy it. Just, Larry is the chief mouser to Her Majesty's cabinet. Yes, for anyone who isn't familiar, Larry is the resident cat who lives at 10 Downing Street and is very good. I would vote for Larry. Anyways, sad day today. I made the last full potto of this coffee that I bought in Toronto, and I'm very sad to almost be out of, because it was real freaking tasty. It was I think it was a honey processed coffee from Brazil, and just really nice, sort of delicate, balanced tasting notes, and I'm gonna miss it very much, but I am very excited for the next coffee that I'm gonna be starting, which is, I can't remember what process it is, I can look it up and tell you, but it is from Mexico, and I will tell you in just a second what the deal is with it. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't tell you whether or not it's good, but based on, I buy coffee from there fairly regularly, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that it is. I don't think I've had a coffee from these guys that wasn't good. Shout out to New Ground Coffee in Oxford. They're really good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this one because I think it's going to be very pleasant. It is called Xicotepec from Mexico, and it has notes of chocolate, plum, and caramel. And if that isn't the loveliest flavor combination, I don't know what is. It sounds super good to me. Samantha says, I think most people would vote for Larry over all of the many, many, many PMs who've worked under him. Genuinely. Woof. There have been some interesting political shenanigans in this country in the last some odd years. And not to get too heavily into it on here, because I don't know, we like to not get sad on stream. I would just like for things to be better for everyone, and for people to just be chill. I don't know. But you know, in like a be nice to each other way. But also something outside is making a really horrible noise, and I am not here for it. that is not cool. Anyways, I hope that that's not coming onto stream too much. If it is coming onto the stream too much, let me know and I will shut the window a little bit. Actually, okay, I'm gonna do a little test, so I apologize in advance. Where's my mic? How loud is that? Is that audible? During that gap when I wasn't speaking, could you hear whatever that weird noise going on outside is? And if you can, let me know and I'll shut the window. Because I don't want y'all to be bothered by terrible sounds. And frankly, the sounds are kind of terrible, so. Anyways. Okay. This bakery case is a little bit wiggity wonky, but I figure everything in here is probably kind of antique. And I love this place for that. This is the kind of place that just has that very sort of like antiquarian vibe, which is nice. Silly, thank you very much for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely, 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 lovely lurk. I can speak. Words are hard. Indigo, also thank you very much for being a lurker, apparently. I hope you enjoy it. And as for me, I am not allowed to lurk because it's my own stream, so I'm going to continue painting. This paint is nice. I'm enjoying working with it. It's got a pleasant vibe to it, I would say. I mean, it is the same paints that I used for the last two paintings, but with a different sort of anchor color mixed into it. But that other color is also from a different manufactory of paint making, and therefore, one may not unreasonably expect that there may be slightly different results. So far so good. So far so good. This is what used to be black, by the way. This is black paint, with a portion of the lunar red rock mixed in. Because I want this background bit to be fairly dark. Obviously, I'm gonna have to give it a second pass to darken it down adequately, because right now it is quite a light brown color. This is pale tea, you know. Not quite, but it's quite a light brown. Anyways. Oh, in additional exciting news, I've got some very exciting news for y'all, and that is that my dinner tonight is going to be grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup, which is an absolute gosh dang classic I haven't had in ages, and I think it was my moderator / spouse who suggested it, and I'm so excited. It's gonna be so nice. In other news, I can confirm that I did in fact celebrate Ratatouille on Tuesday this week. It was really good. I used the lovely courgettes and aubergine that we got from the farmer's market at the weekend, as well as some peppers and tomatoes and some onion and garlic, and made a lovely, lovely ratatouille. It was really, really good. It's one of those things where every time I make ratatouille, I'm like, damn, this is just one of the most lovely, satisfying, types of food that you can have. There's so much vegetable in it, and it's so rich, and it's just so tasty, and really quite good for you as well. And why don't I make it more often? It's not that difficult. And yet, I don't make it very often. I should make it more often, because it's really good. Anyways, it's not a noun, it's the comparative of lurk. Oh, so it's more lurk. I understand, Indigo. I'm leaving for groceries for my ratatouille right now, actually. Oh, hell yeah! I hope you have an amazing ratatouille! Hell yeah! I hope it's delicious. I'm sure it will be, because that is a good food. Love that for you. I also picked up, I don't ready meal super often, because I do like cooking, at least to some extent, from scratch as often as I can. But they had what was it? It was palak paneer, but it was a vegan palak paneer on offer from one of my local grocers that like comes in a packet, and I was like, you know what, this might be really good for one of those days when I'm honestly quite lunch hungry, but don't have the time or inclination to cook from scratch, and I don't feel like just making like a tin of baked beans or like ramen, because lunch is much more hit or miss for me when it comes to cooking from scratch. Sometimes it is I'm gonna make myself like a full-on like tofu fried rice or something, and then other times it's just like ramen, tin of beans, bowl of cereal. Okay, the ice cream truck jump scared me, I'm sorry. Samantha says, it's only ratatouille if it is made by a French man piloted by a rat, otherwise it's just sparkling stew. Oh, I misspoke in that case, because I am not I am neither French. I can speak a reasonable amount of French, but I'm not French. Nor am I piloted by a rat. Honestly, some days I'm barely piloted at all. Brain is not braining very good these days. I'm just in a weird little haze. But you know, it's all good. Maybe I'd be doing better if I had a rat piloting me. That seems like it might be a good strategy. Anyways, I haven't actually decided what our little barista is making. It might be. I don't. Is it a latte? Is it a flat white? It's certainly some sort of, that's a milk jug that's being poured, so it's either a milk or a plant-based milk that's being poured into a cuppy. Is it a hot chocolate? Is it a cortado? Is it I don't know. Is it a cappuccino, perchance? Is it a dry cappuccino? Is it a wet cappuccino? There are so many possibilities. Indigo says, I'm 50% a French woman piloted by a glob, if that counts. That's fair. Sounds like you're making 25% of a ratatouille, says Samantha. I'm so confused. La 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 la. Okay, we are almost done with this sort of early iteration of the back of shelf. So, to be honest, I'm actually feeling kind of positive. I need to get this gubbins done fairly quickly, because I want to make some autumnal artworks to have an autumnal shop update out, because in previous years I have been absolute boo-boo garbage at getting seasonal stuff out when it is seasonally relevant, and I have no idea whether or not that impacts people's choices. Like, do you care about whether or not an item is seasonal when you're buying it? I don't know. But I think it might be helpful to be like, hey, you know, to at least cash in on like seasonal stuff. And also, I just love autumn, so I'm happy to be slightly thinking ahead to it here. Like, that's all right with me, you know what I mean? Anyways. So what I'm saying is, if this doesn't turn out absolutely butt ugly, it'll probably end up being a print. That's what I'm trying to express. As for oh god, I am nowhere near even beginning to conceive of, and I know this is a business mistake, whatever, of what might be done for like a Christmas update. It's too soon to think about that. It's way too soon to think about that. Like, forget that. No, 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 no. However, they do say that you should be thinking about your Christmas stuff in like August, and I'm like, I can't. It's too hot and sweaty. And I'm not Australian or New Zealander enough to be able to think of Christmas when it's hot and sweaty. So, no. No, sorry. But the trouble is I will end up spending all of October not working on holiday stuff because I'll be busy working on you know, our beloved 31-day art prompt challenge. At least I hope I'll be doing streaming this year. I don't know whether or not I'll be hosting streaming this year. I'm sure whoever does end up being the featured streamers on streaming this year will be an amazing roster of artists. It always is, and streamers and very cool people. But regardless, I would love to, I will still be participating in the prompt list proper because it's fun, that's why. But that also means I don't really have that as much time to think ahead to like seasonal winter stuff that I might want to be making available to people, like pins or bookmarks or stickers and all that jazz. So maybe I should be thinking about that in September, but I don't want to stream that in September. So I'm going to have to do that off stream because y'all don't want to think about the holidays in September. You want to think about autumn stuff. Being an artist is hard. Anyways, that's fine. I'm sure I had other, like, questions that I wanted to ask chat today, and I've completely fled my mind, so here we are. Do-do-do. At least we're making a start on this funky little piece, which I did not intend for this piece to be nearly as, like, busy and full of things as it has ended up being, but I think it makes it so much more fun and interesting that it is. I'm honestly actually really happy with that, so hey, you know what? Good job, me and y'all, for enabling me. Thank you for that, I appreciate it. Okay. And there we have it. Yay! Parts of the painting are actually done. What? What? Wild. Wacky. Crazy. What is this? Who knows? We'll decide later on whether or not I want to make the ghost ever so slightly translucent or if I just want to leave them as just a standard white ghost. I think I might just leave them as a standard white ghost because it'll be a little bit more visually sort of punchy that way, but who knows? Who knows? We'll make that pronouncement / figure out when we get there, perchance. I think is what might happen. Okay, let's start roughing in some of the bigger bits, like the espresso machine and the countertop here, or at least like the sort of flat colors of them. I think what I want to do for this countertop, if my camera will catch up with my hand movements, is to blend some of our brown with our yellow to make a slightly blonder wood. I think might work well. We'll have a look and see how it looks anyways. And if it looks bad, then I'll do something else. It's fine. Once again, just gonna pick up some paint right off of the edge here. First of all. I also just, I don't know how anyone else feels about these colors, but I adore how these colors have turned out. I think they look so nice. That is actually quite an orange. That's a little more orange than I wanted it to be. So maybe I will just pull up a little bit of this to try and make it a little bit less orange. Has that done anything? I don't know. But again, this is just like a first layer. And we'll be adding texture and stuff on top of it. So I want to water this down quite a bit, actually. In fact, what I might do is just sort of a first like wet layer and then put some color on top of it to give the wood a nice bit of interesting, sort of very cool sort of wood texture to it, rather than having it be a little bit more flat. Because that's part of the fun of sort of using these paint mixes in sort of a wet on wet way, is that you get really nice texture out of your washes, which is very, very fun and can give you some really nice results. I actually really like this. I wasn't sure about the color when I was just looking at it in sort of in full over there, but actually painting it down now, this is a really nice color. I'm really happy with that result. That's really good. Yay. Good job, me. Not to be self-congratulatory or anything, but I did something that wasn't bad. Hooray! Okay. Wicked. Yeah, it's a nice fun bit. For some reason, my water is just making a lot of bubbles today, and I don't know why. But that I think in this case will actually, I think, give us a cool texture to the wood countertop as well. So I'm happy with that. My moderator slash spouse was just looking at me. What's up, babe? Okay, my moderator slash spouse, by the way, has been home all day. So there's no moderator slash spouse that's come home today because he's been home all day. So I've had no opportunity to go say hello to my moderator slash spouse when he's come home. So I'm going to go say hello to him right now. 1 second, chat. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. But also, hi. You also started painting very soon into the stream, maybe even record-setting time, says Samantha. I was just really, I don't know, uncharacteristically kind of really on it today, I guess, with regard to that aspect of it. And here we are. Okay. Alright, okay. I think, what if we do... I'm not sure what color I want this to be. The espresso machine. Espresso machines can come, in many colors. So maybe let's fill in some more things and then decide what color we feel like the espresso machine looks like it should be. I think might be actually a better way to go about it. So what I think I want to do is maybe let's start coloring in our book covers. Maybe let's start coloring in our book covers. So I'm just gonna, once again, I'm gonna do this sort of pre-moistening the paper of the ones that I want to be, in this case, red. I'm gonna do red books first. And just very... Once again, I always find this an interesting challenge, is the manufacture of randomness. Trying to decide how many different book colors do I want to have, and therefore how many of this books should be sort of any one given color. What would the distribution of book cover colors be? I don't know. I just don't know. But I think red is always a good choice for a nice sort of antiquarian book. Someone actually, was it Sen who sent me a video earlier about arsenic green being used in book covers in the 19th century? Because arsenic green is a fun story. There are no arsenic green books here because, my God, people eat food in this establishment. We are not gonna be contending with arsenic green. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. Just gonna fully eliminate that as a possibility right now. There may be some green books, but they will have been made safely. Sen says I, and thank you so much for sharing that with me as well. That was fun. For anyone who doesn't know, indeed, in the 19th century, somebody somewhere discovered that you could use arsenic in the doing of dyes for things. A lot of things. Clothing, like textiles, wallpapers, book covers, all kinds of stuff. Especially, it was really instrumental in creating these beautiful, vibrant greens that were very, very, very popular at the time. Until it was discovered that, oh, wait a second, maybe this isn't actually good for you. Maybe we should be not doing this. Oops. Yeah. So that was a thing. And obviously, if you have an arsenic green book cover in your collection, for gosh sakes, be careful, because, coming into direct contact with that can, over time, make you real sick. But, hindsight being such as it is, we now know that, yeah, potentially your wallpaper was giving you those headaches, Anyways. Which is frankly wild. But, hey, you know what? History's cool. History is interesting. And, I do genuinely find, especially, like, facets of very sort of, like, everyday history, like the dyes that we used to make book covers, that kind of thing. I find all that stuff super interesting. I've got a video on the docket. It's not the one that I'm working on right now, but hopefully it's the one I'll be working on after this one. That will be about soap and soap making, specifically in the 18th century, as a follow-on to a video I made way back in 2022. And I'm finally coming round to doing a follow-on from it. And I'm very, very excited to do it. But one of the hello, Lina, welcome on, and how are you doing? It's very nice to see you. Welcome, and oi savalois to you too. Hello. Hope you're having a beautiful Thursday, my friend. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, okay. So soap making in the 18th century. I actually, in my research, I came upon a YouTube video that somebody put out, and it was so frustrating to me because they were demonstrating very unsafe. Now, listen, I understand, like, the I guess, desire towards, like, understanding how people would have done things at the time and that kind of thing. But also, oh my god, there are certain practices that people did back then because they didn't have the resources that we do now that are not safe. And you should not do them. And this person was literally, like, dipping their bare finger into uncured, in process soap, which, if you don't know, the base ingredients of soap is a fat and a very alkaline agent, usually something like sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, the former of which can be extracted from wood ash, which is how it would have been done historically, and it was what this person was using as well. But that, in and of itself, that, like, solution, because it's dissolved into water in order to make soap, and then you create an emulsion, and the emulsion and between the fat, which is acidic, and the very alkaline stuff, renders it safe and into a new substance, which is soap. But due to the extreme alkalinity of sodium hydroxide, you do not touch it with your bare hands because it will give you burns. Like, it will sting for days. Like nothing you've ever felt. Thankfully I have not experienced this, but having heard accounts of people who have, you be very careful when you're handling the substance. You put on gloves, you wear, like, fitted long sleeves, you wear safety goggles, you make sure you are in a well-ventilated space, and you make sure that any pets or dogs are kept well away, right? And this person was literally just going in, I'm just gonna dip in the tip of my finger and just check to see if it still feels greasy or if it feels soapy, and I was like, you do not do that with, at the very least, a disclaimer that you are an expert and other people should not do this. At bare minimum, but realistically, you should be using, you know, I don't care if it's historical, like, use modern PPE, okay? It made me really angry. But anyways. Lina says, I tuned in just in time to hear you making a delicious video. No. No. Lino, no. But anyways, my next video is actually, well, I don't want to give away whether or not my next video is delicious. You're just going to have to watch it and find out. But, I will say my next video is about a foodstuff. It is, I've got about 9 minutes left of the edit to do, and then I need to figure out what music I want to add to it, so hopefully it'll be up in the next, maybe the next few days. So watch this space. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, let me drop a link in the chat. Subscribing to my YouTube channel is free. I don't bother you very often. I post videos like a couple times a year, and I work really hard on them, and I hope you like them very much, okay? Thank you. Anyways, but so yeah, that's the thing that is imminently forthcoming. I hope you all will enjoy it. Oh no, since apparently only one side of my headphones is working, I wondered why Sammy's stream sounded so weird. Oh, beans. Oh, beans. Well, I was about to apologize for that, even though it's nothing to do with my contributions, but I'm sorry on behalf of your headphones, I guess, because that stinks, but, well, I'm happy you're still here, and I'm happy you can still hear parts of it, I guess. Indigo says, if I butt type something weird, I'm sorry, I can't lock my phone and keep listening. I will, okay, if anything weird comes from Indigo in chat, I will blame their butt. Good to know. Sen says, okay, this is funny, I have a volume slider on my headphones. If I put them 100%, one side stops working, a bit below that and works again. I wonder if the speaker might just be a little bit blown out. Like, I don't know exactly how that kind of thing works, but I think I've had situations with speakers before where, like, if the volume is set lower, they more or less work okay, but if you turn it up past a certain point, it starts crackling or it just stops working altogether. So it might just be that the speaker is semi-blown out. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that your headphones weren't expensive, and if they were expensive, I hope you've had them for a long time, because that's really frustrating. Speaking of dangerous colors, I'm gonna make some green books now. Probably not quite as many as the red books, but I'm gonna pop some green books in here as well, just because I think it'll look nice. Let's maybe put one here, and I will put one here, and maybe this chubby little tome. I relate hard to this little tome because I too am chubby and little. Okay, and this is honestly the best combined with helio green paint color I've made, I think. I now can't remember which ones I allocated to being green, because I have been pre-wetting to get a nice bit of texture. But I can't see which ones I pre-wet, so I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna do what feels, I think it was this one. This is such a nice green now. This green paint is so saturated that the other two paint colors that I used in conjunction with it as like the anchor colors for those palettes, it just completely swallowed them whole. It's only been this lunar red rock that I feel like has actually kind of stood up to the helio green and turned it into something that I feel like I want to use, which is really interesting. It's just, it's mellowed it out just enough that it feels like a really, like a good green to use, I feel, more than it did previously. Because it was just so in your face. And wasn't tempered enough by the anchor colors to feel like a really cohesive part of the color palette, I think. But it feels more so now, so that's nice. Is that enough green books? I think I'll be adding some little like surface details to the book covers as well, as I've done with previous iterations of bookshelves that you may have seen from me. But I'll do that, you know, once we've got all the flat colors down, then we start adding in all of the little details and shadings and yada yada yada. Since I've had them a while now, and Mom got them during a sale, so all good. But yeah, headphones are something that need replacing ever so often. Very, very true. I think my headphones, oh, it was so frustrating. I think just before I was about to travel last, my headphones broke. So I had to very quickly source a replacement, and I was able to get a replacement pair. But then, I went on, you know, sort of a trip back to see my family in Canada last, May. And then I took a short trip within that trip to go to another city for a couple of days. I left my headphones at my family's house. So when I got to that other city, I bought another pair of headphones. So now I do have a pair of headphones and a backup pair of headphones. They're both like the cheapest, wired sits on top of your ear headphones that you can get, because I can't do earbuds and I don't like wireless headphones. Anyways, I feel like if I had a set of wireless earbuds, I would lose them like every other week because they're just so tiny. And also, I can't stand having things inside my ear. It's painful. My ears are too small and nothing ever fits properly. And I have tried. But also, I don't know, I like the just sort of block out the world feeling of having something actually physically on top of my ears. That might be some form of spiciness feelings, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, now I have headphones and backup headphones. That's really good. I used to buy very expensive headphones. But I found that they didn't last any longer than like the inexpensive ones. So at some point I was like, I'm gonna get a good couple of years use out of these headphones, regardless of whether or not they cost £250 or £25. So I might as well just buy the £25 ones. I'm listening to a lot of podcasts these days, and I don't really care if the sound quality is bang on what the sound engineer had in mind when I'm just listening to, like, you know, three guys my age waffling on about, like, purported Bigfoot sightings or Dungeons and Dragons. So, you know, another bookshelf painting, says Lido, how many times must we teach you this lesson, old man? I know this. I hear you. I'm listening, and I'm gonna try to do better, but not this day, because I'm stupid. And I don't know, I guess I like to punish myself, but in a fun way. Don't take that out of context. Anyways, says on another note, the release date for Dragon Age Veilguard dropped, and so the system settings are not too demanding. I do not need to upgrade my PC to play the game. I think that's the most important thing, because it's like, well, the game costs this much, but I have to upgrade my PC in order to play it. Suddenly, it gets a lot more expensive to play Dragon Age, and that's not so much fun. Though I hope that the new Dragon Age will be fun. I expect it'll be the only thing that I hear about from many of my friends for a long time after it's released. I've never played a Dragon Age game, and I don't know anything about it, and I hope that's okay, and I love you. Anyways, what's another good book? Ooh, sometimes you get, like, a gold-colored book covers, like these sort of, like, yellowy covers. I think that would be real pretty, so let's do some of them. Okay. So there is actually a little bit of almost unmixed anchor color on the edge here, so I'm gonna try and mop that up as best as I can with my brush. Come on, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick it up, pick it up. Let's clean this as best as we can. Okay. Anyways, so you're just watching me attempt to clean my messy paint pans today, apparently. Never mind. Okay, let's just get a goodly amount of that on the brush. Good. Okay. Indigo says my arse didn't say anything. How polite. Yeah, they were nice. They were very quiet. They were just having a lovely lurk, apparently. So, you know, we love that for them. But yeah, hello again. It's still nice to see you. Okay, I'm actually pre-moistening my canvas with somewhat more colored in washes here in the hopes that it will make it easier for me to figure out which books I want to paint this color when I get there. Instead of doing this painstaking process of trying to do a bit of sort of wet on wet painting and then just forgetting where the colors want to go, because that's very silly of me. Anyways, ooh, yeah, this is really more of like an ochre brown than anything, but you know what, I'm kind of into it. I am kind of into it as a book cover color. I think it's nice and warm. I feel like all of these books are probably very good and interesting and fun subjects. Love that for them. Okay. Cool. Anyways. Ooh, Spooky Bar, says Gliraf. Hell yeah. We've got a barista here making a delicious, probably espresso beverage, though I'm not 100% on what beverage it is. I haven't decided if it's a flat white or a latte or a cappuccino. My personal preferences tend to be either a latte or a flat white, depending on how much I want to be drinking. Do I want a large cuppy or do I want a small cuppy? And that makes a difference. Also, what sort of coffee is it? If I know it's very good coffee, I'm more likely to choose a flat white than if there's a chance it might be sort of meh or mediocre coffee. I'm more likely to have a latte because it tastes more like milk. Priorities. Anyways, how's it going? Lovely to see you. The ghost puns must be through the roof. Hell yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I need to come up with some more good ghosty Halloween puns for this place. Because I'm not very good at puns, believe it or not. Espresso, says Lino. Hell yeah, I love it. Anyways. But yeah, I just wanted to channel some autumn vibes. I love this palette of paints so stinking much. I think they turned out really nice, and I'm having a good time painting with them. Maybe, do we want some book covers that are blue? I think we could have some book covers that are blue and then some book covers that are brown. And I think that's probably enough book covers at that point. So let me pick up, believe it or not, this is blue. This is blue. It does not look blue to me in this context at all, but this is our blue paint. It looks like that. So it is blue, but it does not look blue. And this is purple, which again, they look like brown and brown, but they are blue and purple. So I should really get a pencil and like label what each of these colors are. There's even a little space to do it on the bottom of the pan, and I just never do. Because I figure as long as I keep all of my paints in the right order, I'll always remember. Will this pan out? I guess we'll find out. But honestly, this paint is kind of magic. Like, it really is. I think this color as well is especially magic, because it's like, this is blue. I know it's very easy to not believe me, but this is blue paint. And I think hopefully in context there will be enough blueness to it that will be apparent. And if not, that's okay too. Anyways. Alright, cool. Indigo's got a terrible drawing time. Now that I'm home, can I have a shroomish? You can. Is it okay if I finish off painting in the blue books really quickly, and then I will do your shroomish? I should explain for anyone who is new here and isn't familiar with the wonders of terrible drawing time that it is a phenomenon on the stream where for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less. Draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on a terrible drawing canvas. It's going great, and none of them are ever cursed. I have thoughts about shroomish. I don't know what shroomish looks like, but I am willing to try and make some educated guesses about what shroomish might look like. So I guess we'll find out in just a moment whether or not my guesses are remotely accurate. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess they probably won't be, but hey, you know? It's worth trying and finding out. This paint is so cool. This paint is so cool. I love this color in particular. I think might be my favorite of this palette, and they're all pretty groovy. But this one just does really interesting stuff on the page. These Pikmin are interacting with each other very interestingly, and I am so here for it. I'm so here for it. Hell yeah. Okay. This one. There we go. That is all of our blue books. I hope that you like them. Now, terrible drawing time. Alright. Whenever you're done with what you're doing, thank you, Indigo. I appreciate it. Okay, so that's done. But yeah, if you have a look, look at that. There's some fun color shift happening in there. You can definitely see blueness. But this does not look blue at all. It just looks like red. It just looks like reddish brown. And yet this is my blue paint. Like, how? Wizardry, I tell ya. Absolute wizardry. Anyways. Don't tell the church or I'll be burned at the stake. This is our current terrible drawing canvas, and as you can see, it's living up to its name. I'm gonna need to set my timer for 5 minutes. Shoot. I opened Blue Sky because I was gonna tell Blue Sky that I'm streaming, and then I didn't do that. Oh well. Never mind. Oh yeah, follow me on Blue Sky. Same username as whatever. Anyways, Felipe says, you blue gum poopers. Listen, my blue is trying its best. They should invent waterproof band-aids that I have at home, says Indigo. Oh no, have you done yourself an oof ouch? I hope not. But if you have done yourself an oof ouch, then yeah, very much I hope that you feel better soon. And oh my gosh, waterproof plasters. I wish that this were true. I just opened the weather app instead of the timer. That's not going to help me here. 5 minutes on the clock, starting now. Okay, so, Shroomish. Now, I know the name Shroomish is a type of Pokemon. That's all I know. Oh, okay. Nope, Dropbox. Sorry, if you heard that little ping from my computer, that was Dropbox encountering an error, and Dropbox, go away. Because I don't even use Dropbox. What's it doing? I used Dropbox years ago, and then my Dropbox was full, and I didn't know what to do with that, so it's just kind of sat there for forever, and I never use it. Anyways, I delivered mail to a bureau of lawyers, and they had a comically large bookshelf with comically big books. That sounds very much like a law firm. They do have very big reference books with all of their law stuff. Anyways, Shroomish is tough because what variety of, because I'm thinking immediately, my brain says mushroom, of course, like it's Shroomish is, it's kind of like a mushroom, but there are so many different kinds of mushroom I could be channeling here. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and attempt to channel a kind of little mushroom guy. Gonna get some little spots up top. Like so, because I think that mushrooms with little polka dots on top are real stinking cute. And I just think it's a nice design feature for a Pokemon type creature. And I am still going out on a limb and guessing that this is some kind of little Pokemon type creature. I could be wrong. Shroomish could be entirely something different. I don't know. Anyways, I'm trying to encapsulate some little guy energy here, so I hope I'm doing okay at that. But also, I don't know, I kind of want to make them just feel a little bit sort of haunted and weird. So I'm trying to give them a somewhat. Remember Fly and Agaric, adorable spotted little mushroom guys? Yes, I do, Lino. That is some NPCs that made an appearance in our Dungeon and Dragon campaign, and they were very cute. Indigo says, I cut myself on Monday and I've been cycling through so many bandits because I can't properly wash my hands otherwise. Oh my goodness, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, I'm gonna... I don't know why this Pokemon is tickling me. It's shroom-ish. It's also lightly cursed. But, you know, in a fun way. Hell yeah. I hope you like this little guy, because I think this little guy is great. I think they are trying their best. And they're a little bit cursed, but you know? I hope you love them, because I do. This is Shroomish. And I hope you're happy. Lido says this pencil is close to done. You are not wrong, friend. But I am not about to retire this pencil until it is fully unusable, because I don't believe in wasting resources in that way. Shroomish! I hope you like. I hope you're happy. I had fun drawing Shroomish. Now I have to do this week's dishes because it made me put it off. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that this little mushroom guy is okay. I'm gonna look up what the actual Shroomish looks like so we can do a nice little side-by-side compare, because I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that I got it a little bit wrong. So let's find out. Shroomish! Okay, well, no spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil, but you'll see it in just a moment, and you can determine for yourselves how well I did or did not do on the drawing of the Shroomish. So, that's terrible drawing time. This is my little extremely haunted mushroom creature, which I hope you like. Silly little mushroom guy, says Indigo. This little mushroom guy is trying their best, but I feel like they've seen some things. This is Shroomish. And this is Shroomish. So went for kind of a different shape situation than I ended up doing. But you know what? I love Shroomish's face. Canon Shroomish has the cutest whittle face I ever did see. Lino says, he grumpy. Yeah, is grumpy little guy. Oh my goodness, I want to give them a big hug. They're so cute. They are so cute. And I love them with my whole heart. Oh my sweet gosh. What a precious, precious, precious little buddy. I feel like it is encapsulating very different energy than what I did for Shroomish, but never mind. Can anyone what was this guy? What was this little guy hiding in the bushes of their own making? I remember doing this. I do not remember what the prompt was. I mean, I guess I can just go back and look at the VOD. I might have to go back and look at the VOD to jog my memory on what the heck that was supposed to be. But never mind. Anyways, Gulliver's here. Gulliver wanted to say hello. Okay, that's Gulliver's contribution. We love you, Gulliver. Yes, we do. Mwah! Okay. Gulliver is staying safely far away from the paint because Gulliver has a lot of very light-colored plumage. Safety. Anyways, Felipe says he grumpy. Hell yeah, and we love him. Now you may guess what it evolves into, says Indigo. Is it in the yeah, it turns into Breloom, who I also did not know how to draw. So in case y'all missed what my attempt at Breloom was, it looked like this. And, you know, I think given the information that I had been given about Breloom, I feel like I did a pretty good job. This is just, honestly, the terrible drawing time is kind of becoming a Sammy works through the Pokedex and doesn't know what any of them look like. That was Golurk was the one in the bushes. Of course, that makes sense. That makes sense. With a name like Golurk, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I have apparently had a Discord message. Okay. I'm checking Discord on my phone because if I open Discord on the computer, it may break the stream. But let's have a little look. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. It's so cute. What? Okay, let me see if I can get... Okay. From the top, look. Everybody, please ignore the fact that my screen protector is cracked. And that you can see my reflection. That is so cute. Indigo, thank you. I'm going to do a quick BRB now because I've been going for a while and I've been drinking a lot of fluids. So I'll be back in about a minute. Whilst I'm gone, you should probably stretch and hydrate and do all that good stuff if you haven't done that in a while. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. You're not going to miss anything. It's just going to be BRB screen and BRB songs. So stick around and I shall see you in just a moment. Have a good BRB. And we're back. Hi everyone, we're back. Say goodbye to the BRB music. Let's go back to the artworks. Hello. Thank you so much for sticking around, everybody. It's good to be back. I had a nice BRB. I had a little chat with my moderator / spouse while I was not present. So that was good. And now I'm going to continue doing these things. Sorry to keep gushing about this palette. I'm just really happy with these gosh dang paints. They look so nice. They look so nice. I just love them, okay? Anyways, but yeah. I think that the anchor color that I used for this palette there's something, is that a little piece of, there was something floating in the paint water and I just thought it was a bit of like pigment that was sort of floating, but no, it is a teeny tiny piece of something 3D printed. That's just... My moderator / spouse recently replaced their 3D printer because the old one was broken, so they were able to save up and get a new one. So there's been a lot of 3D printing going on in this studio for the last few days / week or two. Teehee. Anyways, I missed some chat. Oh yeah, Felipe said I have seagulls at my window. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Also, Gulliver sends their regards. I love Gulliver. Gulliver is a new member of the family here. Arrived this morning, and he's a very sweet little buddy. Very happy to have the company of such a lovely little bird. Anyways, yes, Lina says, you said you should know which is blue and which is purple with a tiny pencil. Not sure if you wanted a reminder of that. No. Because I'm, you know what, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so... I am indeed writing out the different pigments on the bottom of these little pans, which is, it turns out this is very difficult to do with this tiny pencil. But also, I'm the only person who needs to be able to read that says chromium orange hue, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this is cadmium yellow, light, just about legible. So good job, me. Helio green and cobalt blue. Blue deep. What was this? Oh, manganese violet. There you go. Manganese violet, just about legible. It's not really, but never mind. Mahogany brown. And Mars black. Wizard. And of course, lunar red rock. You know, the moon. The moon, very well known for red rocks. The moon. Anyways, not as bad as the letter I had today that was completely illegible, says Indigo. Oh no! Oh no, I'm very sorry to hear that. That is deeply frustrating. Oh, heck. I mean, I will say, when I'm writing letters to other people, I do try really hard to make my writing more legible than it is just in its natural state. It's hard to do, but I do try. That being said, I recently penned some handwritten correspondence to someone who I admire quite greatly, and want them to think I'm cool, and there is a very real chance that I misspelled Manananggal, and I will forever be embarrassed if that is the case. You know, the what if rejection sensitivity has snuck in, and I'm like, oh no, are they gonna and the thing is, I ask myself, are they going to judge me for misspelling Manananggal? But it's just me holding myself to a higher standard than I would ever hold anybody else. And indeed, if someone I admire was like, oh, well, this person sucks, actually, because they misspelled Manananggal, that's not someone whose esteem I care about, because that is, quite frankly, and if you'll pardon my exclamation mark language, a dick move. But it's very much just a personal thing that I'm like, oh no, I want, you know, sort of the things that I put out there into the world to be of to my standards, and when I worry that they were not, it makes me feel bad, even though I know that no one who I think is cool and no one who I should think is cool would judge me for slightly misspelling Manananggal. Anyways, I have never done a proper artwork of a Manananggal, and I want to, because they are so cool. They are so cool. If you're not familiar with what the deal is with the Manananggal, they're really cool. They are a scary creature, but I just think they're neat. Because they take the form of just sort of a fairly regular looking woman, but then at night when they go out to go be scary and drink people's blood, they separate the top half of their, but they grow bat wings, and the top half of their body separates from their legs. So they just abandon their legs somewhere. And the top half of them flies around and goes and menaces people, which is wild and super cool. But also a real, like, a real obvious weak point as well, it feels like. But the lore is such that legend has it that if you encounter the legs of a Manananggal, you should sprinkle salt on them, because then they won't be able to reattach the top half of their body with their legs, and then they'll die. And that is how to defeat the Manananggal. Now you know. If you ever come across one of these creatures' legs, you know what to do, so they don't steal your blood. Anyways. So that's a thing. Fun stuff. Anyways. Thank you for the exclamation mark language, Lino. I earned that. But also fair, they say. I think so. Sometimes language is warranted. And I am not immune to using it. As anyone who's ever heard me off stream will know, I language quite a bit, actually. Under the right circumstances. But that's the thing. Our you know, like a lot of the things we say and do are situational. There are ways in which I will converse with a close friend or loved one that I would not to, like, say, a barista I've just met at a coffee shop. Because different circumstances require different facets of your personality to come to the fore. Yeah, anyways. Oh, it's brown. Oh, it sure is brown. Such a lovely, rich brown. I think it's nice. I hope you think it's nice, too. This feels like a really autumnal collection of books. I don't know what makes a collection of books autumnal, but here we are. I'm just full of nonsense and beans today, apparently. Not literal beans. I had ramen for lunch. Indigos is going to take their legs with me, and they're going to know what it feels like when you don't remember where you parked your car. Wow. That is some kind of impressive revenge. Oh, what a feeling. Imagine if they just have one of those, what's it? You know, the little button that you press on your keychain for your car, where it makes a little whip whip sound when you press it, and then you know, you can sort of triangulate from the noise where your car is. Maybe they have that, but for their legs. That would be useful, I think. There we go. All right, I have done all of the books. This book in particular, because the color of it looks like a baguette. But never mind. It's a book. It will look more like a book when all of this is done, I promise. Okie dokie. So that's that. What are some other things that need painting in? I'm trying to decide what color the sort of packaging for, like, the coffee beans that they're selling would be, and I don't know. When Indigo says, we've been trying to reach you about your legs extended warranty. Oh no! That's silly. I love it. Alright. Oh, silliness. Okay. I'm gonna add some more colors to things. Maybe, okay, I think all I want to do for the pie filling color is just use this orange, because it is just a pumpkin pie. So I can just have that be orange. That's nice and easy. Nothing too silly happening there. Oh, I'm also gonna have to color in the colors of the bookshelves as well. Oh, beans. Oh, there's a lot to consider, but I think the bookshelves can come later, honestly. Actually, I think that would be fine. I haven't had pumpkin pie in so long. I really like pumpkin pie. My moderator / spouse has had pumpkin pie, I think, a grand total of once when I made it and he didn't like it. Not because my baking skills weren't up to scratch, just because he didn't like the flavor-texture combination of it. And that makes me feel a little bit sad, because I simply can't justify baking pumpkin pie just for little old me. Just for one person. So I never have pumpkin pie. Sad. Feel bad for me. I don't know. No, I'm just goofing. But I am a little bit sad about that because pumpkin pie is very delicious to me. And I'm going to blend that orange with a little bit of brown to make the color of this a carrot cake. I feel like carrot cake is a good kind of... I feel like carrot cake wants to be autumnal as well because it's got the spices. We want once it gets into like the slightly cooler weather, that's when we want to get into like the spices and stuff. We don't want heavily spiced things when it's hot out generally, I think. That's more of a the weather is cooling down kind of situation. Speaking of, it is gorgeous outside. It's super overcast and gray. I think it's rained a little bit. There's a lovely cool breeze. It is a number of degrees that aren't too big. I might actually get a good night's sleep tonight, which would be really nice because I have to stream tomorrow morning. It's 21 degrees with showers currently where I am. It's gonna rain until significantly later in the night. That's nice. Oh, good. The forecast is looking good for the next week or so. Hey, happy with that. Low 20s, mix of rain and clouds. That's
Attention.
fine.
Twitch user Sammy Kelsch.
Shoppers.
Hello, Stan Lidho Art. Hello, welcome in. Hello, Raiders. Welcome. How was your stream? It is lovely to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. It's lovely to see you and your wonderful people. Welcome, everybody. Hello. I hope you had a lovely stream. Let me get a shout out for you in the chat right now. There we go. Once again, there's a chatbot. Okay, chatbot had a little bit of a delay. I was worried there, but chatbot is working for us. So there's Stan. If you're not following Stan, go do that. And thank you so much again for the raid. I really appreciate it. For anyone who's just come in, allow me to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I stream cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays, and I stream cozy game streams on Fridays and every once in a while on a Sunday as well. We are currently working on some very seasonally appropriate autumn spooky vibes coffee shop kind of situation here, and having hopefully a lovely time. I'm having a lovely time, certainly. I hope y'all are too. But yeah, for anyone who's not familiar, I am a traditional artist working primarily in watercolors, but I do occasionally dabble in other things as well, like gouache or oil. I've done oil paints a little bit, and also sort of carving block prints, that kind of thing. But Stan, if you've got any art that you would... Thank you very much for the follow. Thank you. If you've got any artwork that you would like to share, if there's anything you were working on today or something on your socials that you'd like to share with us, I'd be more than happy to share with the class. You can whisper me a link. Links in stream don't work because we've been getting a lot of spam lately, and I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. But you can whisper a link to any art that you want to share with me. And I would love to share it with the class. But in the meantime, I shall share, if I may, something that I finished recently. How about this little piece? This is the most recent thing that I posted to my Instagram, and it is a couple of Mothmen. This is the coffee shop that they're walking out of here is actually based on a coffee shop that I quite like in central London called Caffeine on East Castle Street. There's two caffeines about just around the corner from each other, actually. But this is one of them. Their coffee is really good. They serve really, really good coffee. They've got a good sort of like house coffee as well as like guest coffees. But also their selection of baked goods is lovely. I'm especially fond of the Anzac biscuit. Do recommend. These Mothmen certainly seem to be enjoying themselves. And I had a good time doing them, so I hope you like also. Stan says cute. Thank you, Stan. Very much appreciated. Let me get another shout out for you in the chat, because I'm very, very, very thankful for the raid. There we go. That should hopefully work. All right, and yeah. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope the rest of your day is going well. What are you up to for the rest of the day? Feel free to share if you'd like to. It's all good. I'm going to, for the time being, continue on with my painting and And yeah, see if we can get a little bit more of this done today, fingers crossed. Because I would like to get it done relatively soon. I might do a little bit of work on this off stream if needs be to kind of speed things up a bit, because I would love to get it done before I leave for Denmark next Tuesday. Oh my goodness, that has crept up quite quickly. I'm so excited though. I've never been to Denmark before, so it should be an interesting journey, I think. I think it'll be a nice time. I hope it'll be a nice time. I'm sure it will. I mean, mostly I am here for like some cool looking architecture, a lot of baked goods, and a lot of good coffee. And if the beautiful city of Copenhagen is able to deliver on any of those things in any measure, I will be a happy camper. So yeah, that's a fun thing that I'm looking forward to. I haven't been able to do a lot of traveling for many years, for various reasons, for immigration related reasons, and then obviously for like illness, public health related reasons for a wee while there. So really grateful to be able to kind of get back into that now. I moved to the UK in 2013, and I was thinking, oh man, I'm going to be able, there's so many other countries that are just on the doorstep that I'm going to be able to go visit, and then I just never do. I have nothing to share, just appreciating your work, says Stan. Well, thank you very much. That's incredibly sweet. And I very much appreciate it. Thank you. But now it's time to go have dinner. Enjoy your stream. Aw, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you again for the raid. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful dinner. And thank you again. It was lovely seeing you. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. I think that's enough. I hope that's enough thank yous. That's very much appreciated. Have a good one. Ah, yummy. That is a... sometimes you just make a really good coffee. I feel like I really hit it out of the park with this particular AeroPress of decaf. Which sounds real stupid, but you know what? It's true. I did, so tough. I'm actually using a little bit of the Mars Black here, because this blend has kind of turned it into this like blackish brown, I would say. It's not as rich a brown or as warm a brown as this, but it's almost brown. So I'm just using it to kind of temper this color and create something that I feel looks a bit more like a... So this little stack here I kind of envisioned as being like sticky ginger cookies, if you know that kind of thing. So they're made with like molasses, and they've got this wonderful sort of dark gingerbready appearance. Oh man, I haven't had a sticky ginger cookie like that in a really long time. They're so good. They're chewy. They've got that lovely, rich, sort of deep, caramelly, almost bitter molasses flavor, and then like the sharpness from the ginger. It's so good. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this is the year that I make some or something. Perchance that might be nice. That might be a nice thing to make, I think. Yeah, why not? Why not? That'd be fun. Okay. And I want to do a little sort of buttery pastry color here for my Almaspite, which is a sort of apple pie-ish. If apple pie was like a tray bake, is the best way I can think to describe this pastry. It's Hungarian. It's something I grew up with my grandmother making, and it's really good. It's described as either a Hungarian apple cake or a Hungarian apple pie, but just trust me when I say it's very good. I should, you know what, I've never actually tried making it myself. As soon as apples come back into season though, damn it, I'm making it, because It's real good. Here's a picture of like a version of it where they've kind of sandwiched the apple filling between two, but I think my grandmother used to make it with actually like sort of a nice chubby lattice. Oh, it was so good. It was so good and so pretty as well. So yeah. As for the apple filling color, it's a little bit deeper than that. So maybe a little bit of this and a little bit of this and just kind of mashing all of these different shades of brown together until we have something that feels like it could be an apple filling. That feels like an apple filling color. Yeah, it's got a little bit of goldenness to it, but it's got some depth. Hell yeah. Okay. All of this is looking kind of like vague and weird, but it'll look better once we've got line weight on it, I think. Oh shoot, I didn't do the pastry for the apple pie. Ah, heck. Sorry, not the apple pie, the pumpkin pie rather. Heck. Shoot. Ah, pretzels. Okay, hold up. Let me just pick up a little bit of that. I think this will do quite nicely. Oh yeah, there we go. A nice golden flaky pastry there. That apple pie looks delicious. Not apple pie, the pumpkin pie looks delicious. The apple, the Hungarian apple squares also looking delicious. Now these up here are jars of tea. So I'm going to need some tea colors. Obviously, so we can have some black tea. So let me do a couple different kinds of black tea and probably like a green tea and then maybe some kind of like fruity tea situation. Fruity. I think would be good. Okay, so we've got this one. Which is some manner of black tea. Maybe it's a nice breakfast tea or something like that. And then do we want maybe this one as well? Some kind of black tea. I guess one of them could be an Earl Grey. We're not really big Earl Grey drinkers in this household, but I'm given to understand that it's pretty popular. I don't dislike Earl Grey, I just don't tend to choose it. There are other teas I'm more likely to. I'll probably just have a Yorkshire tea after after stream. Which I haven't in a wee while, and I want to do, okay, how do I think if I add a little bit of this, just take a little bit more of that lunar red rock for one of them, just to make a different variety, a different grade of black tea. Just altering the leaf color a little bit. Ooh, maybe one of them's Darjeeling. I love it. I don't think this would be Darjeeling. Oh, you know what this one is? This one's pu'er tea. That's what this one is. This one's pu'er tea. Specifically because I love pu'er tea. It's so good. Assuming you get there are some bad ones. If you get like a really cheap one, they can be a little bit sort of fishy or taste a bit like, I don't know, just not very good. But if you get a good one, it's so good. It's like smooth and there's like a sweetness to it for me that's really nice. I don't know. I think it's a good tea. It's a good tea. If you haven't had a good pu'er tea, recommend. I get to cut veggies now. Yippee, says Indigo. I love that for you. That's really exciting and fun and good. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Awesome sauce. Love that for you. Okay. Gonna do some green teas, and I'm gonna need to do some figuring here because I want to take some of our green, but this green is still a little bit, I think, too grassy and a little bit too close to bluish for green tea, so I'm gonna need to add some yellow to it. And I'll do two different. I'll do maybe just straight ahead like a sencha, and then like a jasmine tea as well would be nice. Okie dokie. So I've got some green there, and I'm gonna add a little yellow to it to make it feel a little bit more green tea in color and a little bit less super bright green. How's that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, that's better. That's more of a green tea situation. No, it isn't. Oh, it looked way more like a green tea situation on the palette, but that's still probably needs a little bit more brownish yellowishness to it. So I might just plop this color down and then just add a little other stuff on top of it to get it to the color that we want it to be, which is fine. Just entirely fine. Okay. Yeah, it's weird though. It was looking really good on the palette, and then oh no, we need to add some more other stuff to get it where we want it to be. Okay. Now there's just way too much paint on here, so I'm gonna try and get as much off of my brush as I can, and then just reabsorb some of it if that's possible. Yep, there we go. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely looking more green tea color. Good stuff. Okay, cool. Love that. And so I do wanna have like a jasmine tea situation as well. I'm just gonna mix in a little bit of our black to it actually, but then water it right down so it's not dark. And I think that should get us to a nice color for our delicious I love jasmine tea. I find it I had a jasmine tea earlier today, in fact. It was very cozy and comforting and really delicious. If you've never had jasmine tea before, I suggest trying it. It might not be for you. It does have sort of a sweet floraliness that isn't for everyone, but I really like it, so there. Anyways. I will be streaming tomorrow. Just a very low stress Hollow Knight stream, I think, is in order. I didn't get to stream last Friday because I had an emergency circumstance that meant I was not in my home. For good reasons. The reasons were good. Everything is fine. But that's why there was not a stream last Friday. But there will be a stream tomorrow, so yay! So if anyone's around tomorrow morning and wants to see me sort of flailing and failing at beating the final boss of Pantheon 3 again, you can. I am looking towards doing some things other than Hollow Knight on Friday mornings, because I feel like we've kind of reached a point where things are getting a little bit repetitive, and that's kind of comforting in some ways, but I also feel like, it's kind of nice to do different stuff sometimes. And I'd like to do different stuff sometimes, so I will. Anyways, so we've got sort of a fruity tea here. It's got some hibiscus in it, which is what's giving it that lovely sort of slightly purpley hue, which I think looks really nice. And additionally, I'm going to have to bring back a bunch of browns again, because I want to color in my syrups. We've got some syrups for people who want interesting flavors, additional flavors in their drinks. I don't know what flavors we've got going on here yet, but I think, we've got some good standards we could have, like, vanilla is always a good syrup to have. What's another one? Like, I don't do hazelnut generally because my moderator / spouse is a non-nut person. But I also don't I don't get coffee drinks with flavored syrups a lot these days. I kind of just like my coffee to taste of coffee. If I get a coffee with lots of flavored syrups and stuff in it, it's because I'm not confident that the coffee in itself is going to be very good. But I do enjoy a fun drink from time to time. Salted caramel, that's a good choice. Or my favorite almond syrup. You don't see almond syrup enough in cafes, and it is delightful. Coffee plus a little cream only, please, says Mel. That is a very good and delicious choice for you. Hell yeah, I love that. Oh, speaking of cream. Cream is not something that is like a coffee accoutrement in this country generally. You don't see it in like coffee shops and stuff. The cream that you buy in the supermarket comes in like a little pot rather than like anything with a pouring spout, so it's really more for like cooking or just like whipping into soft peaks and serving with berries kind of thing. But how old was I when I learned about the breve? Because that's not a drink that you see here, but that is basically, it's a latte, except instead of milk, it's steamed cream, and that sounds like dessert to me. Oh my goodness gracious. Brown sugar and oat milk, says Neo. Oh, that sounds really comforting. I had brown sugar in my coffee recently, and it is a winning combo for sure. I love that. I appreciate the warning, says Mel. Fair. Anyways, hello Mel and hello Neo. How are you both doing? I hope you're having beautiful days. I hope that you are well. How goes? Lovely to see you. Oakley dokalies. Let me paint some syrup colors. I feel like almond syrup is quite pale, but I do want an almond syrup in here because it's so good. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this. It's like not far off just the color of simple syrup. But this is going to be our almond syrup. Because I do think that almond pairs really well. There's certain flavors that pair really well with certain types of coffee. Almond syrup is really good. Almond syrup also really, really good with matcha and soy milk. Like, damn, it's super yummy. Neo says, I'm just passing by, but I couldn't resist the coffee conversation. Love the piece you're working on. That's all. Gotta go. Take care. Please take care as well. Thank you so much for the flying visit. It was lovely to see you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's make a little vanilla. Let's make a little vanilla, which can be a little bit darker, a little bit richer in color than the almond syrup. Thus. And maybe, like, I'd love to do like a spiced syrup as well, though we do have some spices over here, so maybe we can just add some spices in and of themselves. So we've got like a vanilla syrup, and then I'm gonna warm that color up a smidge with a little bit of this orange to make like a salted caramel syrup. I'm just mixing all of the stuff that's just languishing on the palate is just going to become our salted caramel syrup. Actually, I think that's a really good caramel color, so hell yeah, we did it. There we go. And yes, the syrups are in potion bottles because this is a very fanciful establishment. This is the most whimsical cafe you'll ever visit, okay? Tee. Yes, I'm going to, this is some drinking chocolate, and I think for the drinking chocolate, I'm thinking of like the colors of, oh, okay, different drinking chocolates that I have enjoyed in this country. One of them is blue. It's not actually from this country, but it is one of my favorite drinking chocolates is Oh Boy. And it has like blue packaging, so I'm going to make this packaging the equivalent of blue that I have as part of this palette, which is this. And I know what you're thinking, that doesn't really look that blue at all, but in context it is. It's blueberry, okay? It's blueberry muffin, the color. And the other one that I think of as being sort of the drinking chocolate of choice is probably Cadbury's drinking chocolate, and Cadbury's thing is, of course, purple. So we're going to use some of our purple for our other drinking chocolate. So I've got two lovely shades of drinking chocolates here. One is a richer, more cocoa-y situation. The other one is a sweeter, creamier situation. They're both delicious. It's just whatever you feel like. And then I've got some spices happening down here as well. So I have to decide what colors to represent the spices. Oh no, pressure. I mean, this already looks fairly... If I combine these two, I think I can get a good cinnamon. And maybe this just in and of itself is quite nutmeggy. And then cardamom, maybe a light wash of this one. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright. So, I start with this. I don't add enough paint to my brush, and it looks bad. I add more paint to my brush. I go back in. That didn't do anything. Come on, pick up, pick up. There we go. So I've got one little potto of spice, and to that I'm going to add a little smidge of this orange and turn it into another spice. Delightful. I debated whether or not I wanted to make this ghost translucent, and I decided that no, the ghost is just going to be opaque, because I feel like that's just A, that's way too much work, and B, I worry that it might make the piece feel a little bit, I don't know, busy in a weird way. It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe what I mean, but you listen, you know. Not enough there. I didn't want to end up in a situation where there isn't enough differentiation between like the character in the foreground and all this stuff in the background. I felt like that would look kind of bad potentially. So I decided that no, this is going to be an opaque ghost. And you know what? Good for them. Also was debating on, does anyone have any strong feelings about what color our barista's apron wants to be? It took me a minute to arrive at the word apron, but I got there. But if anyone has any strong inclinations as to what color the barista's apron should be, feel free to sound off in the chat. I'm still debating on what color the espresso machine is going to be as well. And I've got all these little boxes / packets of coffee that I need to decide what I want to do with. Also. But I feel like all things considered, we've made like a good amount of progress on this piece today. And I feel pretty good about that, honestly. Pretty good. We've got a little hand grinder here. I figured that this hand grinder on the back shelf is probably not what they normally use to grind their coffee, because they get through so much of it that grinding every 15-gram batch by hand is going to be prohibitively time consuming. But they like to get it sometimes. Not green, says Indigo. I wasn't thinking of green, so thank you. I mean, I always have a strong inclination towards blue, says Samantha. For the apron or for the espresso machine? I was thinking we could possibly do like a denim situation for the apron, have it be made out of like a soft denim kind of thing is quite cool. Maybe with some nice like leather accents or something. I don't know, for the apron. What if? Honestly, that sounds fun. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use the blue. I'm gonna use the blue for the apron. Cool, thank you. Yes, I think that'll be cute. Okay. I am pre-wetting the material so we get a nice textural wash situation on it. And I think that actually I was going to do like a contrasting waistband with like leather accents or something, but actually no, I'm just going to do the whole thing in blue. There we go. Okay. And then we make sure that that is my blue. Yes, it is. And then we pick up a nice brush full of bent. A nice brush full of bent. That was not enough bent. There we go. I need more. I need more paint. I shouldn't have started without more paint. It turns out that was not enough. But maybe my brush is just too small for this surface area. But never mind. This paint is wicked cool. This is, I think this is possibly the coolest color, just in terms of the way it runs and functions and does its thing of the palette, but of the actual like selection of colors, I don't think I could pick a favorite because they're all pretty heckin' groovy. There we go. We have ourselves a beautiful denim apron. Brown, but there's so much brown already, says Indigo Blue is good. I'm wondering if I maybe want to, okay, I don't know if this is going to look weird, but for the espresso machine, I am casting my mind towards a coffee shop that I like to frequent, where their espresso machine is like sort of a light teal-y turquoise situation, and I want to channel like a cozier, more autumnal version of that by taking our blue and adding a little bit of green into it and using that to make something with the espresso machine. First of all, I'm just going to pre-wet the whole thing because I want us to have some nice granulation on here, because I think, I don't know, granulation also feels cozy to me because I'm a certified weirdo, and personally I think that's real sexy of me, so, you know, good job me. And then we're just gonna, ooh, yeah, it's kind of turned it into this deep forest color. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Hello, beautiful. And we'll see how this kind of manifests as it dries, because I think it's going to be real neat. I can already see some of the, like, the different pigments kind of settling or floating on the top, so that's really fun. Alright. Hell yeah. That's a fun espresso machine texture, if ever I did see one. Get a load of this fun spro machine. You can just tell that this makes a good cup of coffee. Or steams the milk or plant-based alternative for your hot chocolate or your tea. Whatever you want. Blue is good, says Indigo. Hey, Aroneko, how's it going? Lovely to see you. Welcome on in. We're just laying down some deep forest situation for this little espresso machine right here. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I hope it turns out goodly. There is arguably too much water on there right now. I'm trying to take all of the paint off of the palette and pop it down here because I don't want to waste any, but also I want it to have a reasonable depth of color. Interestingly, I feel like you're seeing a lot less of the anchor color in this and more of the blue and green, but it's definitely, the anchor color is definitely doing something to it because it's not the bright oversaturated green that it would be if that wasn't present. Okay, I think that'll do for the color of the espresso machine. Warm, says Aroneko. Oh no, it's is it a little bit warm where you're at? I'm sorry to hear that, or I'm happy for you, depending on your feelings on that situation, because I don't know them. But anyways, I think, I'm just having a little look-see at the time, I think I'm gonna call it there for today, because I need to make dinner. Tonight's dinner is grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, which is which was a special request from my moderator / spouse and an absolute comfort food for the both of us. So I'm very looking forward to it. And we'll hopefully finish this on Monday. I'll be back tomorrow to stream some Hollow Knight in the morning, and I hope that will be fun also. I'm going to look and see who's online, but I think I have an idea of who I might like to go see. So I will just check and make sure that they are still streaming. And yeah, they are. Okay, cool. So we are going to go to, oh, Kobe says, no, I missed it. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. You can, spoilers, I painted, and it turned out looking like this. I hope that's okay. But I do have to go cook, but it's nice to see you, albeit briefly. Hello, hello. I hope you're having a good one. It's lovely to see you. Generic raid message in the chat, because we are going to go raid out now, because I'm hungry and I need to cook some foods. So let's get some ananas dropping in here. And for anyone who has just come in, I do apologize that we are finishing. But I will be back tomorrow morning doing some other stuff. And we're going to go raid Margot, because Margot is doing a 12-hour charity stream, which is super cool. Raising money for cancer research, which is very dear to my heart as well. So if you do feel like supporting, no pressure, obviously, but that would be super cool. And Margot's streaming for 12 hours today to raise money for cancer charity. So we love that. We love to see it, and we love to support. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the raid message with the emotes. If you don't, you can just say generic raid message or append any cool emotes that you do have and you feel like using. I will be back on Friday, which is tomorrow morning, playing some Hollow Knight. I hope you have a wonderful evening in the meantime. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. And I forget what my I'm leaving stream things I say are, but just, yeah, you're great. Have a good one. Love you all. Goodbye and good night.